Hey everyone, it's Morgan, the American Plumber. Today I wanted to talk about what it takes to be a good service plumber. Okay, a little bit of a different episode as usual. Keep them coming. Um, I just figured this might be a good thing to talk about today, and I'm trying to get some steps in before I head off and help the guys out on their jobs. So, service plumbing is kind of a unique field of plumbing. A lot of guys do not want to do it. A lot of guys in the trades, they don't want to do service. You don't know how many times I've heard electricians and plumbers basically say, I don't do service. I'm not a turd wrangler. Now there's advantages and disadvantages to service. I'll give it to you. Sorry about that, son. Um, you know, I think that there's a lot more potential to make money in service. I think it's more resistant to economic swings. And I'm getting a call from one of the guys right now. I'll pause. All right, I'm back. Well, that's a maybe segue into the first thing you need to do to be a good service plumber. You've got to be adaptable, okay? This is one of the big differences between being a new construction plumber or electrician and a service plumber. Um, it's imperative that you are able to bounce. So I just got a call from one of my guys about a question on a job, and I got to stop this video to help him out, figure out what needs to be done, and move. And it's the same thing when you're a technician or when you're starting out. You've got to you could be, this is the difference, you could be sitting at home for a half a day, but you got to have your van very organized, stocked, ready to go. And that call comes in, I got no hot water, I'll be right there. And this is why it's a roller coaster. You could be at home. This is the downsides of service plumbing. You could be at home with your family, just getting ready to go on a bike ride at 2 p.m. You're like, oh, it's a slow day, I haven't had anything going on. You literally get your helmets on and everything, and you're ready to go. And here comes the call. We got a busted water main at a mobile home park. It's a 3-inch line and we need to get it fixed right away. It's flooding everything out. Well, guess what? You're not going on a bike ride. You're going to hop on in your van, and you better hope it's fully stocked, ready to go. And you roll out and you're there within an hour. And that's what makes a good service plumber. And I would say that's probably the most important thing that you can do. It is being responsive. You got to answer the phone when you say you're open, and you got to respond quickly. And it doesn't necessarily need to be same day, but it's got to be, you got to show up when you say you're going to show up, and some of them you do have to do same day. And over time, you'll build up that client list, and you'll start getting repeats. People will refer you because you're the guy that shows up when you say you're going to show up, get jobs done. So now I've got a few guys working under me. We strictly do service and drains, and occasionally we'll end up in a situation where we've got a somewhat of a remodel, but I try to stay away from them because you get good at doing one or two things in this world, like a small set of things, and then that's what you should specialize in. So if you like doing remodels, just specialize in remodels. You like doing new construction, just do new construction and build those relationships. Be the guy. That's the thing in this world, is just being reliable, being good at what you're good at. And I'm not that good at new construction and remodels, but I'm dang good at service plumbing, okay? And that's something that took me forever to learn. That we got a baby goose out here in our field. One left. They had 6 babies. They only got 1 left, and they hatched right out in our place, and it's kind of sad, but not very good parents, I guess. But that's where I'm getting at, is with us with service. We do service plumbing, drain cleaning, and we'll do same day service Monday through Friday, 7 to 5. If you call, we're gonna offer it. Sometimes we'll have to bump someone to the next day if we just are absolutely tied. but I try to keep enough guys on that we can offer that same day service Monday through Friday. Now, surprisingly, we don't work weekends. You know, if you got to have the fire department come shut your water off on a weekend on an emergency, that's fine. I don't work my guys on the weekends because we used to do that. We charged a lot more and people just get frustrated. They already don't want to spend money with a plumber. And so, you know, trying to be the weekend guy, it's really hard to keep your techs happy and content and work them on the weekends. I've tried it. So far, that hasn't worked out for me. I mean, maybe someday I'll get a tech that just wants to work, you know, 3 days over the weekends and then he's off during the week and I could put him on call. But so far that hasn't worked. So like I said, it's surprisingly simple. You want to get kind of niche down into what you feel comfortable in and then just get really good at it. So for us, I would say, what's our primary calls? I would say that we're looking at primarily doing water leaks, water heaters, clogs, sewage ejectors, sump pumps, leak locating to an extent. We'll even hire out leak detection if we really want to get specialized. And those are really probably our main focuses. Even shower enclosures, I usually will have a contractor at this point put in the enclosure. We'll do the drain and the valve. Because, you know, the problem I've run into as a plumber is when we do enclosures, then you don't do the trim. You don't make it look all nice and finished. I don't do tile. So it's almost easier just to have the guys that are good at what they do. Get it all ready, you do the plumbing, and then you build this network. And the network is super handy because, you know, eventually they'll call you to do the plumbing. You know, they know that you'll call them to do the enclosure, and you're building this network. You don't have to do the stuff that you don't really like to do, and then they don't have to do the stuff that they're not licensed to do. And if you can get the guys on board, you'll find it doesn't take very many. Get a few guys that you work with, and you know, eventually that just compounds and snowballs into a lot of work. Now, that being said, when you're first starting out, it's scary. You know, you're starting out your plumbing business, and you know, you might be specialized in new construction service. We're going to focus on service because that's what I do. And we're going to be scared because we got all this equipment out. You might have spent $60,000, $80,000, $100,000 setting up your business, or got a loan. You got a $2,000 a month loan, which, don't be scared of them. You just got to work harder. You got to really work hard in the beginning. And you may want to pick up some of these jobs, but have it in your game plan, in your business plan, to drop some of these things you don't want pretty quickly. So the good thing to start out with is these home warranty companies. They don't pay real good, but they pay good enough to pay the bills. You can get on with home warranty, and basically what that is people will pay $600, $1,000 a year for a home warranty that covers plumbing, electrical, and heating and air. And so if someone's water heater goes out, they file a claim. You go there, diagnose the problem, and you give the warranty company a price. They approve it, and then you get paid through them. They do take a while to pay, but it's a good way to get that steady cash flow coming in. Now, we don't do that. We don't work for them anymore. We'll make the customer pay direct out of pocket, and then they can get reimbursed. And the reason we don't is because we want to maintain good reviews with our business. And what we found is when you're doing home warranty work, they're very delayed on approving you. So it's kind of out of your hands. And the customer wants hot water today. And sometimes with the home warranties, they don't approve you right away. So you've got a customer without hot water for a week and they're going to blame you, not the home warranty, because you're the one that was there. It's got to be the plumber's fault. And if you look, a lot of the plumbers that do home warranty work, they've got like 2-3-star reviews on Google. And we're more expensive, but if you call us and you don't have hot water, we're getting you hot water today, today. So if you call with a water leak, we're going to try to get it fixed today. So I'm a big believer in sudden service, emergency service, getting people taken care of in short order. And if you want to be a good service plumber, that kind of leads me into the last part of this, which is you have to provide 5-star service. And you're going to make people mad along the way, because usually it's the price. To provide 5-star service, you got to charge quite a bit. And you have to charge, I mean, I'm telling you guys, that's one of the most important things. If you're not pricing jobs correctly, you're going to go out of business, because you may make enough to make a living, but you're doing this to make more than a living. You're doing this to provide for your family and have a good living. And if you are literally trying to be a hero out there and be the cheapest guy and provide the best service, your family's not going to get to see you. You're not going to be able to hire guys because you're not charging enough. You think you're a hero, doing everybody a favor by working ultra cheap. And honestly, nobody cares about the plumber. You know, they do, but they just want it fixed. And they're really not gonna, nobody's gonna like remember you in the long run. If you don't answer the next time, they'll call the next guy. So just remember that you got to take care of yourself and your family first, and then, you know, take care of the customer second, but very important as well. So one thing I've found is just trying to find that price point where you're actually making enough to grow. Okay, so like you might look at all your cost for the month. Look at what materials you spent in the previous month. Look at how much your home bills cost, your loans. Figure all that out. And then figure out how much you want to pay yourself. You know, is that going to be $6,000 a month? $8,000 a month? Are you going to start lower? You know, that's up to you. Divide that by your billable hours per month. And mind you, depending on what you're doing, it's going to change. So if you're a new construction plumber, you can probably bill for what you got to go do bids. You can't really bill for that. So let's say you can bill for 70% of your time, right? So whatever, you know, you got 40 hours a week, let's say. You're going to work more than that if you're a business owner, I promise. But let's call it 160 hours of billable hours if you could work 100% of the time, which you can't. So you take that 160 multiplied by 0.7 for 70% of the billable hours. And then basically divide that by what your necessary money to make every month is to cover the materials, the bills, and your income. And that'll tell you how much you should charge, you know, approximately per hour. And it might be higher than you think. It could be 150, it could be 250. And that is if you don't want to grow, just to make your amount of income and cover your bills. All right. Now you got to start thinking, do I want to hire a guy? Do I want to buy a new van? What's that going to look like? You know, you're going to have to raise the prices from there. So you might go from, you know, 150 to 250 or 250 to 350. And if you're a service guy, you may only be able to bill for 50% of your time because you're out looking at jobs all the time. A lot of them don't pan out. And so just make sure you're pricing correctly to run a business. I mean, this isn't a charity. If you want to do charity work, go do something else, because we're not crawling under crawl spaces and dealing with people's poop and dealing with whiny customers just for fun, right? We're doing this for profit. And you know, you need to get that through your head, and you got to remind yourself, you know, I try to take care of customers, and there's a lot of jobs I do eat just to keep people happy. But at the end of the day, you got to draw the line somewhere, and most people are very honest and compliant, but once in a while you'll get somebody that's trying to take advantage of you, and you do have to know how to handle those situations. So, well, like I said, with being a service plumber, you got to be very adaptable. You've got to be pretty quick on your feet. You've got to come up with real-time solutions. very quickly. So someone calls you, water heater's out, I always like to give, at least tell the customer what's going on. So you got to know how to diagnose. If it's a 20-year-old tank or a 15-year-old tank, I'm going to tell them what they really need to do and should do is replace that tank because of the age of it, and it's out of warranty. It's beyond its normal expected lifespan. That's what should be done. X is the cost for that. Down from there, we can go, hey, if it's a gas water heater, we can do a full rebuild, burner, thermostat, gas valve. Maybe it needs code updating. Maybe it doesn't have seismic straps or dirt leg, depending on your local area. That would be kind of a middle ground. And, we usually guarantee our parts and repairs on that kind of stuff for 1 year. Longer if we do the whole tank. And then the minimal option might be, can we relight it for the evaluation or service call? Can we replace just the thermal pile? And you've got to try to give that customer options, because it's very hard sometimes. You can't always do it. Like sewer line stoppages, I really have a hard time. We don't really give a lot of options on. We clear it and then we assess it. But when it comes to plumbing, you want to give them options as much as possible. And even on if we know the tank's got to get replaced, there's always options, right? You can do a like for like replacement usually, unless the new units are bigger, because some of them are. You might have to go down in size. Or you could do the smaller water heater with a mixing valve. Maybe you can go tankless if you have the ability to do that. Giving them options. We've also found that we don't use it a lot, but we have the ability to do financing through our invoicing system. We use Jobber. Been pretty happy with them, but we have the ability to do financing. And I would say maybe once a week on average, a customer needs it, and it really does help them because they just can't afford the repair that needs to be done. And being able to offer them the ability to do that financing can really help them out. Okay. So, those are, I'm just touching the tip of the iceberg here as far as service plumbing goes, and, what it takes to be a good service plumber. So I could go farther into depth if you'd like, let me know. But that's the video for today, guys. Service plumbing 101, I guess you could call it. And I'd like to see other guys out there succeed. I also think you got to pay your technicians really well. I mean, my guys honestly make more than I do, which sounds weird. The business obviously does pretty well, but this is the hard part. If you want to get into business, it's a different ball game. Okay. I mean that when I say the guys make more than I do. And in the long run, I think I'll have a really good long-term investment. And, they're out doing jobs right now and I'm here talking to you. So there's advantages, but you really got to know what you're asking for. If you can find the right service shop, someone like me, or you can make a lot of money as a technician too. So if you don't want the headache of doing all this, just be really good service plumber and really good at the service leads to sales. If you can be good at that, your employer will take care of you. Find someone that will pay you performance pay. And, that's another really good route to go, guys. Enjoy the trades. Enjoy the summer. We'll see you on the next one very shortly.